able to cut bureaucracy. I mean, we know a lot about that. I'm not going to get into details. You know what, I mean, the sort of bureaucracy that takes place at schools. Creating mutual respect in the mentoring relationship. I mean, as you can see, some of these characteristics are repeated all the time because what it is important then, the most important thing, confidence, the mentee can trust in you, you develop reflection in the mentee, and the relationship. You have to be sort of friends. I mean, he looks at you as a friend, not somebody who is going to punish you or criticize you. Okay, so let's see now the roles of the mentor according to Angie Maldres. First of all, and you're going to, it's going to sound familiar to you, a model. Yeah, a model who inspires teachers by demonstrating effective teaching skills, what we have been saying all the time. Another as an acculturator who shows mentees the ropes to get used to the particular professional culture. And then as a sponsor and a supporter who accompanies mentees in their developing process while supporting them and providing opportunities to share insights and feelings connected with their experience as educators. And finally, something which is very important, as an educator. The mentor plays the role of an educator when helping the mentee to articulate ideas in order to achieve professional goals. Okay, now we're going to see what the teacher has to learn. The teacher has to learn what? The three knowing. The first one is knowing about. What? Knowing about what? Knowing about the existence of different ways of doing things and the reason for doing them. The curriculum, textbook or course books, materials available, resources that you can use from internet, etc., etc., etc. Then the knowing how to do things in the classroom. And then knowing too, which refers to the above knowledges and the time to support the learning of particular learners in particular moments. Now, how are we going to do this? The know about, KA, the know about, it can be learned when a readiness to learn is established through reading and listening. Another K, KH, how. It can be learned through all skill learning cycles, observation of skilled model, trying out with support, reflecting, trying again alone, and then trying it again and again, etc., etc., continuing with the process. The know too, KT, can be learned through training in noticing. This is very important, noticing. When you notice, later in the activities we're going to see that. Noticing, reflecting, as you can see, the same word is repeated again, and this is what we have to get in our mentees, reflection, that they think and reflect. Why did I do that? What could I do? I think this was okay. No, yeah, you reflect. And this is something that we do all the time. I mean, not only connected with teaching, whatever you do in your life, we always reflect, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done it. I mean, this, that. Okay? And what else? Learning from their own and others' experiences. That's why sharing is something which is very important. Sharing with your colleagues, with your peers. That's why I have said from the very beginning that it's interesting that you do this presentation, you watch this presentation with somebody else, at least one more. The ideal thing would be 4 or 5, because you have to share, discuss this, stop it. By the way, you can stop this whenever you wish, and then discuss it, saying, no, I don't agree with this, I disagree. And that's good. That's the point. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. Now, stages of development from separate knowledges, you remember the knowledges, know about, know how, and oh, I forgot the other. I am the teacher and I forgot it. And know about, know how, and know to. So those are the three knowledges that we start. From this to integrated, congruent, informed knowing in action. The knowing to, that's the one. From a focus on self, identity projects, through a focus on students' behavior and classroom activities, what we do in our classroom, to a focus on learning, because that's our final aim. Now, something else before we deal with the activities. What mentors do includes providing social help and scaffolding help. You know what scaffolding is? That you go from one step to the other until you reach, well, the ideal thing is to get to the top. Let's try. Supporting progression as you are going from one step to the other. Supporting the linking of know about, know how, and know to. Don't forget that. I mean, discuss it with the people you are working with now. It's a good idea. Say whether you think this is useful, you agree, you don't agree, give your point of view. Supporting the development of the skills of noticing and learning from one's own and others' experiences. What is noticing? Noticing is not interpreting. You notice something, sort of you describe something. I notice that you are, I'm going to invent because I'm not looking at you, but that you are wearing jeans, for example. I'm not interpreting that. It's a fact. Now, let's start with the activities. The last one, modeling the above. I mean, you have to, as a model, as a mentor, you have to model all these different steps. Now, let's start with the activities. First, we are going to deal with one which is called complex picture. What's the idea of this activity? You're going to look at a picture that I'm going to show you, and you're going to do something that I'll let you know in a second. This activity can help to bring out differences of perception resulting as much from who is observing as from the physical position of the observer. Because it all depends on where you are sitting, what you're going to see. Because maybe the light or the image is not going to be as clear as the other teacher who is there that has full view of everything. And your personal experiences also, they always interfere with description. Yeah, how are we going to do this? First of all, look at the picture for 30 seconds. Here it is. Look at it. Right? Now, write down as much as you can remember. Whatever you remember about the picture, start writing it down. This is individual work. Now, in pairs, compare and contrast your observations. See what you've got in common. I'm quite sure that some of you focused on something and others on something completely different. It's got to do with our life. And then you're going to have a whole group discussion about this, because it's interesting once that you have discussed this with your partner to talk about this with the rest of the people. And I'm quite sure that there will be a lot of differences, because that's the way we are. I mean, just think about, not about this picture, an accident. You saw an accident in the street and you tell it to somebody else. You see somebody there who was lying and you talk about that person because you were impressed. But somebody else will say, no, you know, it was a car, blah, 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 blah. And different perceptions. Well, here it's the same thing. Yeah. What is the aim of this activity? Why do you think that I've asked you to do this? Try to discuss it in your groups. And now I'm going to, I